Ciao everybody, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone live show. This is a post-match reaction to Juventus and Torino, the Derby della Mole, and match day 24 in Serie A. That was fun. That had no set game plan, it looked like, whatsoever. We looked flat in the first half, but it was fun. Scored 4 goals. Couple of exciting players made their returns. And we allowed some really bad goals. There's a lot of things to take out of this kind of game. I don't know how much we can take out of it, though, because it was only one game, and it was just one of those games where it was like their cup final. Like, they did very well, and we didn't play as well defensively as we should have, or as we usually do, especially at home. So it was fun, though. It was fun. It was really fun. We know what happened first minute into the game. Again, and as we go through the match facts or whatever the match events, I'm going to stop and take a look at what I thought the problem was. So first goal, Jan Caramo off the corner. Again, I've harped on this many times, many times. You can't do zonal marking unless you are well organized and well drilled. That comes from the goalie, and that comes from your main center back, and or if it's your captain. Whoever's organizing the zonal marking from a corner, it's got to be a lot better. Dusan Vlahovic was slow off the post to make it a higher line. Whoever lost the first, I forget who lost the first header, but when you do zonal marking, you don't man mark, so you're not marking someone out of the game. So that's why someone can get lost in the box, and Jan Caramo did. Ball falls right to him. If you're going to blame Szczęsny for that, please don't. It's a shot 5 yards in front of the net, and he scored. Yeah, no shit. No shit he's going to score that. So I blame the zonal marking methodology, and I blame the lack of organization. 2 minutes into a game, that can't happen. But it happened, so 1-0 to Torino 2 minutes in. Until our goal, which happened, I think, the 15th minute or so, it was very lackluster, very poor, but the ball got swung out to the left wing. Kostic clips the ball in. So remember when I did the coach's corner, I said Filip Kostic can cross the ball every which way there is to cross the ball, and it's good. His crossing is good. It's mindless and brainless sometimes, but it's still usually good. So he clips one in this time. He doesn't curl one in. He doesn't play one along the ground. He doesn't whip it in. He clips it in. That means he just scoops it over, chips it over, and it evades the two attackers. I can't remember. The Torino defender and one of our midfielders collided, didn't get the ball, fell back post to Quadrado, who smacks it as hard as he could, and it went off Rodriguez and into the net. Great. That's what we need going forward. We need people in the box. We need people flooding the box. And to be fair, we had a lot of that this game. So I'm very happy with that. And it was successful, because how many goals did we score off crosses? 3? 4. All 4 goals. All 4 goals were off crosses. Again, that's the not style of play that we're going to play with, but that is the idea of what Allegri thinks this team can do. Get the ball wide, cross the ball, and get bodies in the box, score goals. And we've seen this forever. We've seen this since he's come back. But today, in the game against Torino, it worked out. It worked out because we scored 4 goals and we got numerous bodies into the box. Do we play the most attractive style? No. There's some good individual performances, but the majority of the game, we got the ball out wide. Kostic saw the ball a lot today, actually. And he made a lot of crosses. And I will go into his... I think he made more than 10 he attempted more than 10 crosses today. So, second goal, or our first goal, that's what happens. So 1-1. We still play like shit for the rest of the half. Nothing crazy happens until the 43rd? I believe 43rd. When Ilic gets... I think Ilic is a great player, by the way. Number 8 for Torino. He was very good. I think Ilic Well, sorry, Illich was very good, and he had the ball the left-hand side of the final third, just entering the final third. He whips a nice ball into Sanabria, who Sanabria uses the outside of his right foot to direct it into the front post, and it beats Szczęsny. That's the goal you should be mad at Szczęsny for. I'm not saying it's all his fault, but he should, like, good, very good goalie save that. Sorry. My dog is chewing his toy. Very good goalie save that, in my opinion, the Sanabria goal. I do agree that Bremer should have been tighter to Sanabria on the entry into the box. I agree with that. But I think Szczęsny should have that one. If, like, just think about the past 20 years we've had Buffon. Buffon saves that. I'm sorry. I'm not holding Szczęsny to that standard, but for Juventus, usually we have the best goalies. So, whatever. 2-1, down again, deserved from Torino. They were playing better than us. My issue, obviously, I told you Bremer has to be closer to the center forward, but another issue I have is we had no midfielders, so that's Fagioli's side, so Fagioli should have been higher up, closer to Illich. I forget exactly where Fagioli was at the time, but if he was a couple yards off him, but that you got to be very aware of the other team's best players. Illich is the other team's best player. Sanabria is their best goal scorer. So you have to be always aware of what's going on and who has the ball, who's dangerous. And in this case, Illich was and Sanabria, and they punished us. Even if it's a mid-table team in Serie A. Their best players are, if they have time and space, they will punish you. So usually we do a very good job of that. We deny balls coming in from that sort of area. But this time we didn't as a collective, and it bit us in the butt. 2-1 Torino. A couple minutes later, Danilo scores off a corner. Love goal line technology. It's helped us out the past 3 out of the 5 games we played this month. So against Nantes, it was Di Maria's header. At a previous game, I forget, in this month that we had the goal line technology work in our favor. And today, it was clearly over the line. Me and my dad were watching together. I was like, "That's a goal." I don't know why he's taking so long to give it, but yeah, Danilo scores, and everyone's gonna say Capitano Danilo, and sure, Capitano Danilo. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't care. I don't care. Just do your job. That's all I care about. Oh, and we'll get to individual performances later and how we'll rank them. So after a crazy goal-laden first half ends 2-2. I don't feel like we deserved it, but we got it, so I'm not complaining. Heading into the second half, Dusan Vlahovic hits the crossbar, I think 4 minutes in. And again, we'll talk about individual performances after, because yes, the 4-2 win is nice, fun, even, but Vlahovic had a bit of a stinker. Anyway, moving on. So he hits the crossbar, and then nothing really happens. Oh, no, not Sampdoria. Torino hit the crossbar after as well. I think it was Moranchuk with the left foot. Similar style to Di Maria against Nantes, but Moranchuk swings it over, hits the crossbar, and then here comes the fun. Here comes the fun. Paul Pogba, after 7 years, finally enters the field in a competitive match for Juventus. Yay. I was not expecting him to come in. He's just different. You know, when everyone got so happy when Di Maria started playing and he was doing his world-class thing. Pogba was on the field for 20 minutes. I was like, wow. We have not had this type of player since Pirlo and Pogba. We have not had someone influence our midfield since those days. Yeah, maybe Pjanic, but this, like, Pogba's different. Even as a 29-year-old ambulance player, medical or JFC player, JFC medical player. He's something different. If he can last the rest of the season, we're in for a show. We're in for a show. I know I'm usually not one to be so happy-go-lucky after a 20-minute camp, but I've seen Pogba before. I've watched Pogba for 12 years. I know what he can do. So if he's just if he's just healthy, even 90%, 80% healthy, he's going to help this team do something. Whether that's win the Europa League, compete for Europa League, compete for the Coppa Italia, try and get us back into fourth no matter what. Because, to be honest, Roma lost to Cremonese today. They look bad. But we'll save that for a preview. So those two come on, Chiesa comes on, and then the third, NBA teams have like the big three. The big three come on for us. Chiesa, Pogba, and De Sciglio come on for Di Maria, Quadrado, and Barrenechea. And the game completely flips on its head. Juventus dominates after that. The stadium felt it. The fans felt it. The players on the field felt it. I think Torino tried to speed up their free kicks before Pogba even came into the field because they didn't want the momentum to change. But, 25 minutes I was like, wow, this is great. This is great to watch. And obviously for the third goal, it was a corner. Bremer scored on a header. Again, people in the box. I know it's a corner, so people will be in the box, but that's how you create chaos, and that's how you score your goals. So it's 3-2 at that point, and then a free kick. I think it was a free kick. Yeah, it was a free kick from Kostic for the fourth goal. Got behind the defenders, and Rabiot's back post to tuck it in. Great, 4-2. Torino never really had a chance after the 3-2 goal. I will point out that Radonjic on Torino went on for like 10 minutes and then he came off. I think it was his fault for the short corner to happen for Chiesa to Bremer. So those are the match events. Nothing else really happened. My hot take from yesterday was there was going to be a red card. I was wrong. Oh well. that was entertaining enough to watch. Again, not entertaining in terms of quality, but in terms of just, oops. Sorry about that. I don't know if we'll get flagged for that. That's my ringtone. But, yeah. So, we'll move on. We'll go into individual performances. We'll shout out Barrenechea for his first ever start for Juventus in the first team. I'm not going to say he was tidy. It was good that we didn't really notice him. You know what I mean? Like he's made some tackles, broke up some play, kept the ball nice. In that role, what he was meant to do when he was asked to do, he did it. Fine. Great. Is he now ahead of the pecking order for Paredes? Is he the next big thing? No. If he's asked to do a job and he does his job, great. Keep him on the bench, keep him in the squad. Easy replacement. I'm happy for Barrenechea. He's not Enzo 2.0. He's not, relax. He was fine. He was good. He was fine. He did what he was asked to do. Then he got pulled out. Fine. And then he lives to see another day because he did his job. He didn't make any glaring errors. And he was pretty... let's check his stats. Let's check his stats for a sec. Because I can't remember an error, if you know what I mean. 69 minutes played. He had a shot. I don't remember that. His passes 35 of 43, 81% passing. Not bad. Kept the ball nice and tidy. And then 2 passes until the final third. 54 touches. 2 out of 5 tackles won. 6 out of 7 ground duels won. Yeah. Again, solid and tidy on the ball. That's all we could ask. That's all we could ask for out of him. I think he's 20 years old. Good for him. Derby Day, 21 years old. Derby Day debut. So it's nice that you have that on the bench now. Because when you have these guys on the bench and you don't know what they're all about, you can't really say there's a guy there. Now that you see he's played a professional game, he played in a high intensity atmosphere, the coach can get some trust in him now. He can trust him to put him on for the last 20 minutes. And then he gives the management trust to say, hey, peace out, Paredes. We don't need to pay you 7.8 million euros to sit on the bench. We have Bernatchez here making pennies. So I think a couple more positive appearances from Bernatchez, and I think nobody's going to miss Paredes. and I'm not sure if we're going to replace a high-profile center midfielder. I think we're going to go Rovella, and we'll keep Bernatchez heading into next year. Again, with more positive performances like today. So again, that's the first individual player we'll go for. Obviously we shouted out Paul Pogba because we have to, because he's made his debut finally and he looks a different class. I thought Di Maria was a little bit off it today in terms of his final ball. Again, his touches were great still. In tight and in the attacking third, they were great, but his final ball was lacking a bit. So, can't blame him. He's played a lot of minutes now in a row, so I'm not going to blame him at all. I thought Alexandra was a disaster, to be honest with you. Very sloppy. I think he's at fault for the first goal. Again, who else had a disaster? And when I say disaster, like, I'm not gonna say Szczęsny had a disaster because he made that one save in the first half. He tipped it around the post. I think Alexandra was our worst player. I'll say that. Let's go into. I'm gonna share my screen now, and we're gonna go see. Please like the video again. Sorry, there's 40 of you in here. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. As you know, we've come up with more content. We've been coming up with more content now that Justin and myself are freer, we'll say. So please do so and support the channel. So we see the ratings there. Let me just scroll down to get Kostich's, who I thought Kostic was okay today. Like, he was above average, so I'm happy with that. So you see Szczęsny got a 6.5. I think that's just for conceding 2 goals. Alexandra 6.8. Bad. Bremer was given the man of the match. I don't agree. I think that, again, when you use these websites, they're going to take the offensive contributions more than what you do on the defensive end. So I think Bremer was at fault for the second goal. So that should cancel out one of his positive goal contributions. I wouldn't have given him an 8.6. But anyway, Danilo got a 7.9 apparently. I'll ask the chat, do you agree with these ratings? Do you agree with these ratings from this specific website? They gave Bernatchez a 7.1, Rabiot 8.0, Kostic 7.9, Fagioli 6.6. That's kind of weird. And now Jockey Bros is just bringing that up too. That's kind of weird, that rating. Let's click why. Let's find out why. Why do we think? So Fagioli had 82% passing, 47 touches, long balls okay, dispossessed 3 times, won all of his tackles, recovered the ball 3 times. Yeah, I don't like this rating system for him specifically. Yeah, and everyone's agreeing now. Misak saying Bean saying 6.6. I agree. Hanin saying no, I don't agree with the Fagioli so low. Yeah. To be honest, I thought he was better than Rabiot, and I thought he was better than Bernatchez. That's my thought process. So I think he's in and around the 8-point mark. But again, Rabiot shouldn't be that high in my opinion because yes, he scored his goal, but he did a lot of grunt work and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So, and yeah, 10 toes down saying that as well. Di Maria's rated at 7.7, Vlahovic 7.4. Yeah, we'll go with our MVP. Oh, I forgot to say Cuadrado, who scored a goal, 7.7. We had 4 defenders score a goal, or 3 defenders score a goal. Okay, so now we see these, and I don't really care about Torino. Oh my god, look at Vanya Milinkovic-Savic, the goalie, 4.9. So bad. Usually he's sick against us, but he was bad today. I won't say bad. They're all They're all headers or tap-ins. So, I don't know. Let's do our man of the match. And again, if you're in the chat, there's 35 of you. If you're in the chat, let me know your man of the match, and then let me know your flop of the match. I'm going to go my man of the match, and what am I going to say here? People are saying, I saw Fagioli was already said. Again, it's one of those games where it was like scrappy and a lot of weird stuff was going on. A lot of unnatural things. I'll say the flop of the match right away, because I think the flop of the match is Alexandro. Alexandro's my flop of the match. So I'll say that one. And then I will say for the man of the match, I'm leaning towards Kostic. But I don't know. It's between Kostic or Fagioli for me. Or even Danilo. One of those three. Danilo, Fagioli, or Kostic, in my opinion. Because Danilo honestly wasn't bad either in his defensive outputs as well, along with his offensive outputs. So I'll say one of those three: Kostic, Danilo, Fagioli. I'll read the chat. What's everyone saying? Anthony Guechi saying got to be Kostic or Fagioli. Okay, so there you go. Hanin saying, how does the Vlahovic chance count as chance created or key pass for Fagioli? Oh, how doesn't? I'm not sure. Not sure how they rate this thing. 10 Toes Down says Rabiot was good. Yeah, I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying he did his thing behind the scenes. Mazin saying man of the match Kostic, flop Sandro. Okay. Brandomir saying man of the match Fagioli, flop is Sandro. Lester saying Beans, Quadrado hurts my head. Yep. 10 Toes Down saying Danilo was high effort all 90 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. And he usually is. And sometimes that's to his detriment as well, because when he tries so hard, he's going to make a lot of mistakes. But in this case, today, he was okay. Like, I thought he was pretty good. So, it is what it is. Anthony Guechi saying Rabiot wasn't too good today. Without the goal, he would have been our worst mid. And that's what I said. Behind the scenes work, he did well. The goal helps. That's what I'll say. The goal helps. Which was the fourth goal late on in the game. So, again, perspective. But other than that, I thought this was a really fun game. I thought this was, now where do we sit in the standings? Because Roma lost. Let's not forget, Roma lost to Cremonese. Or did they rate Pogba and Chiesa? Because Chiesa got an assist. Okay, so Chiesa got 7.4. Pogba 6.2. Mattia De Sciglio 6.2. Yeah. I didn't realize Bonucci went on. That's hilarious. And then Moise Kean, obviously, they don't get ratings because they came on late. But Chiesa did get an assist for the Bremer goal off the short corner. So there you go. We'll go back to my face now, because this, when I ever share the screen, it runs my computer crazy. We'll check the standings now. Juventus are 7th. And they're 9 points behind 4th place. They're 9 points behind 4th place with 14 games left. Is it possible? Next week, Juventus play Roma at the Olimpico without Jose Mourinho. I don't know if that matters a lot, but Juventus play because Jose Mourinho got a red card today. Next Sunday's huge. If you get 3 points Sunday, you are then behind Roma by 6 points. Oh, sorry, we're 10 points out of 4th. My bad. We're 10 points out of 4th. Lazio. We're 9 points behind Roma for 5th. But if you beat Roma on Saturday or on Sunday, then you're now 6 points behind, with 13 games to go. Is it possible? Is it possible? And before, Robert Agressi threw a funny thing in there right before the game started. 2:30 he tweeted, 2:30 my time, so 15 minutes before the kickoff. He tweeted that we have put our appeal in for the original 15-point penalty. So if we get those back, we're clearly in second by at least 3 points. If we win that, so Anthony's saying we'll win the appeal. If we win the appeal and we get those 15 points, we have to be ready to get another point dockage, or docking from. Oops, my dog's scratching his head. From the salary case, we have to be very aware that there's a salary case still to come next. But if we win those 15 points, Serie A is like, oh my goodness. It's the craziest thing ever. And again, I'm going to shit on Serie A again because I watched Cremonese, like for the first time in a while, I watched a game, like from start to finish. Cremonese beat Roma today. It's bad. The state of the league is bad. But hey, that's for us to be happy with, because we can now go into a Champions League spot perhaps. Like Inter's lost 7 games. Inter in second place in 24 matches have 7 losses. Anyway, so that's a look at the standings. 7th place currently with a 15-point deduction, 10 points off 4th, 9 points off 5th, and 6 points off 6th. And I think we have to play all these teams again. Yeah. Roma coming up on Sunday. That's the big one. Javi's saying man of the match is Fagioli. Hip Priest is saying Jogba man of the match for stepping on the field. And again, him stepping on the field is just the big boost in general. Anthony says, you're right about Pogba, similar to Di Maria this year, where you can tell his quality separates him from the rest straight away. I'm going to be honest. It's separate, and we are a top team in the league still, no matter what place we're put into. We have the players that should put us near the top. And closer to Napoli than what they are. They're having an anomaly season. I can't believe what they're doing. But the players on paper are so good compared to the rest of the league that when you see Pogba and Di Maria actually play and touch the ball, you're like, holy shit, imagine we had these guys all year, healthy. Oh, my laundry's done. I don't know if you can hear that noise. 10 Toes Down saying, Serie A would be the top league if they had state-of-the-art facilities like Juve. Who wants to play in Manchester or Liverpool when you could live in Genoa or Venice? I agree with that, and that's why Serie A, or the Italian top division, was the best before this new age, before like Calciopoli. It had great stadiums, it had great fanfare, there were nice places to live. The geography was nice, but now Italy as a whole, economically, they're not doing the greatest. Their laws are very old. It is what it is. They have to catch up to the rest of the world, to the modern world. Khalid saying, if Pogba strings 10 games, he will be actually Pog back. Yeah, that's the biggest question. I don't know if he's going to play on Sunday, to be honest with you. I'm waiting for an update. I'm not waiting for an injury update because that's like malicious, but I'm waiting for Allegri to say, yeah, he's tired. In fact, let's go to anything that the post-match press conference said. He said a lot today. Holy shit, Alejandro. Okay, so Allegri. The boys played a good game against a tough attacking team. We conceded 2 avoidable goals. I agree. Then we had a good reaction. The boys deserved the victory. I agree. At the end of the day, we did deserve the victory. 10 points are a lot. Today we caught up with Bologna, pulled away from Torino, and we must take one step at a time. On the field, we won 50 points. That's the most important thing. Fair enough. Again, I'm quoting Allegri here. We have to improve many aspects, then playing on Thursday and Sunday is not easy. Well, you played Thursday and Tuesday, bro. Taking off Angel is always a pity, but I have to give him rest. We needed players who could give us fresh legs. I put Rabiot in front of the defense instead of Barrenechea, who had a great game. All right, so that's what I was trying to figure out when Barrenechea did come off for Pogba. I wanted to see who was going to play in front of the defense, and it was Rabiot. I think Fagioli and him switched a bit. I saw Fagioli come in front of the defense to collect the ball, but I think Rabiot was the defensive part of the midfield. Which, if they coached it, and if they worked on that tactically, sure, I agree. In the first half, we went too much behind them. They lowered Moranchuk and Linetti, and we left space for Singo. I don't think Singo was particularly that great today, to be honest. At the half, I said, guys, we have to stay compact, otherwise the game goes away and it goes to their advantage. Yeah, and the first half was it was really back and forth, and there was a lot of space in midfield. I put Rabiot in front of the defense because we needed physicality. Then he improved in the development of the game, but he has to improve on carrying the ball from side to side. Weird. I don't agree with that. And I'll say this: I don't agree with my midfielder bringing the ball from side to side. Why don't you just pass the ball? Make the ball move. Ball moves faster than the other players. Allegri continued. Paul came on as a winger and did fairly well. What? Chiesa came in and did well. That's surely a misquote. He did not come in as a winger. Anyway, Fagioli had a second half that was superb in terms of quantity. So he did a lot. Seeing the numbers now, it's normal that there's Lazio at 45. So at an average of 2 points per game, they become 73. In order to get 73, we have to have an extraordinary second half of the season. But let's see, step by step. On set pieces, we were sleeping. When it comes to scoring goals, it's important to play as a team and to be patient to find the right opportunity. It's a question of maturity because you can think of doing things you want with Torino. You have to understand the game. And then he goes on to say about Paul Pogba, a good return for us. We've wanted it for a very long time and we're happy. He didn't really mention anything about Pogba. Anthony's funny. Thought that was his. Tonight, Szczesny reached 200 appearances for Juventus. Alexandra reached 300. The lads gave them a good party too. Then it's Milik's and Keane's birthday. There was every reason to win it. Okay, that's gimmicky now. The fact that Alexandra's played 300 games is crazy. That wouldn't be a reason for me to party. That would be a reason for me to say, what the hell are we doing here? Why is he still playing? Yeah, so that was Allegri. He was mostly happy because the team scored 4 goals. Imagine that. Oh, there you go. Anthony saying his laundry finished at the same time. That's awesome. People like the video. We got probably 7 more minutes, and we'll answer some questions. We'll answer the chat as it goes on. But March is going to be a very difficult month, and leading into April. At the end of March, there is going to be a international break. So stay tuned for that. But in March, we have the 2 Europa League games. We have Inter, we have Roma. It's tough. And I think Sampdoria. But it's going to be a tough month. It's good that the guys are all coming back. When I say healthy, I'll say as healthy as they can be. Excuse me. So yeah, lots to look forward to. And at the beginning of the month, I made a video that said, what are our expectations for the month of February? And I said you have to win every game. Or at least, no, you have to win every game. It was not a light schedule, but the opponents were all beatable. And I think we only tied Nantes. I think we won every other game. Let me just take a look at that. Our month of February went as follows. So Coppa Italia, Lazio 1-0 victory. Serie A, Salernitana Calcio 3-0 victory. Fiorentina 1-0 victory in Serie A. Champions League, Europa League, Nantes 1-1. Spezia, Serie A 2-0. Nantes, Europa League 3-0. Torino, Serie A 4-2. So 6 wins, and that's sandwiched by 1 draw in the Europa League, which does no damage whatsoever to the Serie A standings. I think that's a good month, obviously. The one midweek disaster in the first leg of the Europa League, it was cancelled out by a good 3-0 win, a good thrashing from Di Maria, and it was good that we won 4-2, and I'll say why. We won 4-2 because going into this match, we had 16 out of our 18 victories this season. We only have 18. Well, now we have 19. But going into this game, we had 18 wins the whole season. 16 of those wins were with clean sheets. It almost seemed like every time we conceded, we weren't going to win. So I found this. I'm going to take a positive swing on this. I'm going to say it was nice that we conceded goals, but we found a way to score them ourselves to win. Finding ways to win is what makes you a great team. We were very on brand for 16 out of 18 of our wins. So the fact that now we have 16 wins out of 19 that are clean sheets, and we scored a bunch of goals to win us the game, that's good. Do we want that to happen all the time? No. But now do we have this 4-2 victory in our back pocket to come back to? Yes, we do. So obviously today wasn't ideal in general, but it was good to get a win like that. I'll read some more comments and then we'll wrap it up there. Also, the appeal just went in 3 hours ago today, so we won't know the verdict or whatever the judging until probably later this week, or even knowing Italy, it won't be for another month. Branimir Radoshevich is saying, if they give us back 15 points, Allegri will have a solid season. That doesn't help at all with my disdain for his modus operandi. Yeah, no. I agree with that. Him getting 50 points, if we're second place, that means Allegri's definitely staying, and that means he's going to coach the exact same way he's been coaching. And Branimir, I agree with you. Sometimes it's an eyesore. Most of the time it's an eyesore. Force Juve is saying Ronaldo is trying to poach Pinsolio to follow him. Great. Go. I don't care. Anthony says most of the danger from Torino came from their left side. Rodriguez crosses were danger, surprisingly. Well, he's an international player. Like, when you have international pedigree, you're usually a good player. And yes, he couldn't make it at Milan, but at Wolfsburg he was very good. I'm talking about Ricardo Rodriguez. And for a while there, he wasn't great at Torino. But Torino's been good this year. He's rejuvenized under Juric. So yeah, he's got the technical ability to do it. I thought Sengo was not great, like I said earlier. I think that's what you're commenting on, but I don't think he was that great. I agree with you that Rodriguez and the left side was way more positive for Torino. Khalid saying, will Pogba fast in Ramadan? If so, we won't see Pogba until next season. I don't know. I don't know. I assume he follows that religion very closely, so I'm assuming he will do that. Niraj is saying, too stressful watching Juve. Today was kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. It was shit. It was like the quality wasn't great, but it was just fun to watch. A goal fest. Not the best quality, but it was open, so I enjoyed it a bit. Olaf saying, why not let Sandro go and sign Grimaldo or something? It's not like he'll demand more money. Olaf, Alexandro might have he probably has a clause in his contract that it's automatic renewal for the same wage. So I don't think it's a thing of like our board saying, yeah, sign him up for another year. It's almost like, yeah, he's signing for another year. Khalid saying Juve is still crap offensively. Yes. No patterns of play, but the pattern of play is get the ball in the box. And when you have people in the box, it works. 10 Toes Down saying Torino is a well-coached team, great win. They are a well-coached team. Juric is a good coach. Al Hassan is saying, I feel we are so scared to admit that Vlahovic can be a flop. I know he is young, but he's not a flop. He's not a flop. My thoughts on Vlahovic is he'll never reach the heights that he will if he's coached under a modern-day manager. He'll never reach those heights because at Juventus, you are a team product. You are not hey, I'm going to score a goal per game. I'm going to score 3/4 of a goal per game and have that ratio. He'll never have that at Juventus. We don't play that way. We don't play to serve the center forward. We play to win. Look at our goal scorers today. 3 defenders and Rabiot scored today. We scored 4 goals without our striker or attacking midfielder scoring a goal. So, at this club, success is deemed with trophies. And if he even scores half a goal per game, it's going to be considered a success. So I don't think he's going to be a flop in that sense. Would I sell him? I probably would sell him if it meant getting over 100 million euros. I would sell him personally. But that's my opinion of it. And I don't know what your guys' are, but I don't think he's a flop, though. Olaf is saying, would you take Singo at Juventus? I would take any right wing back over De Sciglio and Quadrado. I don't care if Quadrado scored today. I don't care at all. Niraj is saying Napoli fans won't stop barking when they win the league. Who cares? They'll be the 3rd Serie A ever. We won 3 times that in 9 years. Rodrigo saying, sup, dudes. I'm solo, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, sup. Quasar saying, good win. Need to see more goals with everyone back. Yeah, it just, the vibe was different when Pogba and Chiesa came on. Brett Acton saying, sell him and buy who? Dude, I don't care. Like, Milik almost has the same goal rate at this point. And Keane has, they're all similar amount of goals. I don't care. I'm not saying they're as good as Vlahovic. I'm not. I am not saying that they're as good as Vlahovic, Keane and Milik. But their offensive output, it's very, not similar. It's a little bit lower, but if you can get 100 million and spend that around the club, maybe a couple defenders here or there, it is what it is. Brandon, I'm going to read Brandomir's thing, and then I'm going to probably wrap it up there because it's 45. Yeah. Brandomir saying, at least a big advantage of this season is that a lot of young players have proven their value to the club. Otherwise, they wouldn't get opportunities and would end up on loans at average clubs. Yep, I agree with that. Am I certain that these players will be... Not wrong. Am I certain these players will all work out for Juventus at the end? No, because that's impossible. That never happens. Like, I can't say Fagioli, Moretti, Rovella, Sule, Illing Jr., Barnechea. I can't say Huijsen, all these kids. Yildiz. I can't say all these kids are going to pan out at Juventus. I can't. I'm not going to say that because... And fans are going to have their favorites. It seems as though Fagioli's made that step. It seems. At this point, he's made that step. He's 1 out of the 8. And, to be honest, Fagioli's 22 years old. He's 22 years old, so he better make that step. It's boom or bust time for him, in my opinion. Because he's only a year younger than Keane and Vlahovic, who are on the club. So, not every one of those younger players are going to make Juventus and do the business and keep up with being a professional at a top club. I'm not expecting that either. So every time one player comes in, and today it was Barrenechea, do I hope he becomes a world beater? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? But at the end of the day, not everyone can make it. If Fajoli, Barrenechea, and Ravella make it, then what happens to Moretti? Because we're not just going to ride with 3 young kids. We're going to have our experienced midfielders in the team as well. Like Locatelli's still here. Pogba's here for another 3 years. It's just not all going to work out. So, try and and this is my advice for everybody. If you are high on a prospect, be happy. But don't go out saying that he's going to be this, that, and the other thing. Because we don't know. Barrenechea played a very fine 68 minutes today. Let's see what happens throughout the rest of his career before we make any grand promises or accusations or hopeful statements. And here we go. Here's the 2. So I believe Højlund, that's the Atalanta guy, the guy I've been talking about for 3 months now, is the ideal replacement for Dusan. Sure. And again, he'll score 9 goals in 25 games. Is that a flop? No. Is that an ideal? Is that a replacement of Vlahovic? It will be, because that's what Vlahovic does. So, if that's the replacement, sure, I'm fine with that. And then Quasar saying Højlund would be a good second striker. So you're talking about not on the field with Vlahovic. You're talking about off the bench. I'm fine with Milik. I'm fine with Milik, and I'm fine with Keane as a third. Because who else are you going to buy and keep them all happy? I'll finish off with these 2 from Quasar and Hip Priest, because, again, this is what I mean by hyping up prospects. Enzo looked good today, better than the other $120 million or euro Enzo Fernandez, who went from Benfica to Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez is really good for Chelsea. He's been really good. And then Hip Priest is saying Yildiz is going to be in the first team next season. If he's in the first team next season, something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong with Juventus, but something's gone obviously very right for Yildiz. Yildiz is 17. Something's gone tremendously wrong at Juventus if Yildiz is being a consistent contributor for the first team. That's all I'm going to say. 10 Toes Down saying we should have gone to Raspadori. That's what I said. And Khalid saying Enzo Fernandez is the right man for Juventus now, but so expensive. Yes, that I will accept 100%. Never in a million years would I spend 120 million on a central midfielder that's coming out of one good season, half a good season in Europe. But if you got moneybags Chelsea, you got moneybags Chelsea. Anyway, great 4-2 win. Good month of February, ending off 6 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. Be sure to follow Bianconeri Zone on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Bianconeri Zone. Again, follow myself if you want at Janari151 on Twitter. Good win today. Great to see Pogba back. Couple things you can take from today's game, and we gotta see moving forward. Big month of March ahead. Stay locked on this channel. We'll see you next time. Ciao, everybody. Thanks for watching, and like the video. Sorry, forgot to mention that again.